Amanda Anisimova just pulled off one of the greatest upsets in Wimbledon history. The 23-year-old American, who took an 8-month mental health break just 2 years ago, stunned world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka 6-4, 4-6, 6-4 to reach her first Grand Slam final. This wasn't just a tennis match, it was karma served cold, a redemption story written in the stars, and perhaps the most beautiful comeback in modern tennis.
What we witnessed was the ultimate triumph of mental freedom over pressure. Anisimova played with the liberation of someone who had already faced her darkest moments and emerged stronger. Meanwhile, Sabalenka carried the weight of expectation, her controversial French Open comments, and the desperation for her first Wimbledon title.
This felt like destiny. After Sabalenka's disgraceful comments about Coco Gauff at the French Open, dismissing her opponent's skill and calling shots magical, tennis justice was served. Anisimova showed that champions aren't just made by talent, they're forged by character, resilience, and the courage to come back from the brink.
Today we're analyzing the greatest comeback story of 2025, how Anisimova turned 8 months of darkness into Wimbledon glory, why this victory feels like cosmic justice, and the moment when a net cord changed everything in the third set. Let's start with the miraculous journey that brought Anisimova to this moment. Her story began as tennis tragedy. In 2019, just days before the US Open, her father and coach Konstantin Anisimov died suddenly of a heart attack at age 52. She was just 17, coming off a French Open semi-final run, and had to withdraw from her home Grand Slam.
Losing a parent and coach simultaneously at 17 is unimaginable trauma. But Anisimova kept fighting, reached the Wimbledon quarterfinals in 2022, stayed in the top 30 for years. Then in May 2023, she posted that devastating Instagram message. "I've really been struggling with my mental health and burnout since the summer of 2022. It's become unbearable being at tennis tournaments.
I always knew deep down that no matter how long I was gonna take off, I was gonna come back to the tour. I still felt like there were so many things I wanted to achieve in the sport. Winning a slam is definitely one of them, and I didn't want to walk away so early after sacrificing so much of my life."
During her 8-month break, she discovered art as therapy. She launched Art for Hope, selling her paintings to raise money for mental health charities. That creative outlet helped heal her mind. When she returned in January 2024 at world number 442, she wasn't just coming back, she was coming back whole.
But this victory feels like more than just a personal triumph. After Sabalenka's controversial comments following her French Open loss to Coco Gauff, where she essentially dismissed her opponent's victory as lucky breaks and magical shots, tennis fans were ready for some karma.
I think she won the match not because she played incredible, just because I made all of those mistakes. Honestly, sometimes it felt like she was hitting the ball from the frame. Somehow magically, the ball lands in the court. It felt like a joke, honestly.
Those comments revealed everything about Sabalenka's mentality when facing adversity. Instead of acknowledging her opponent's skill, she blamed external factors and luck. That kind of mindset creates vulnerability, and Anisimova exploited it perfectly today.
The match itself was a masterclass in mental resilience versus mounting pressure. Anisimova took the first set 6-4, then watched Sabalenka fight back to level the match 4-6 in the second. But in the decisive third set, everything changed. Sabalenka broke Anisimova's serve to take a 1-0 lead, but then lost her serve to get to 1-1. Then something strange happened when she was down 1-2 and almost won that game.
How did Sabalenka miss that shot? Very weak reply. Oh my word, could have put that anywhere. Did not have to put it that deep. You got to have controlled aggression. If she loses this match, that is one shot that lost it for her.
That commentary perfectly captured the moment. Sabalenka, carrying the weight of 2 Grand Slam final losses this year and desperate for her first Wimbledon title, choked on a routine shot. Instead of 2-2, it became 1-3. The pressure was suffocating her while Anisimova played with complete freedom.
Then came the moment that defined everything. Trailing 4-1 in the third set and facing elimination, Anisimova served at 1-4. She hit a shot that clipped the net cord and dropped over for a crucial point. Sabalenka immediately approached the net, trying to intimidate her. "Why didn't you say sorry?"
Not everyone says sorry.
That interaction crystallized everything about this match. Sabalenka, who had dismissed Coco Gauff's French Open victory as magical lucky breaks, was now demanding apologies for the same kind of net cords that happen in every tennis match. Hypocrisy was stunning, and Anisimova's response was to simply outplay her.
That interaction reveals everything about pressure and entitlement. Sabalenka, feeling the walls closing in, resorted to trying to intimidate a player who had already survived the worst life could throw at her. Meanwhile, Anisimova had the mental freedom of someone playing with house money.
From that moment, Anisimova was unstoppable. She won 5 games, breaking Sabalenka's serve twice. The crowd erupted with chants of "Come on, Amanda," as they sensed history in the making. When Anisimova finally served out the match on her third match point, swatting a forehand winner past Sabalenka, she fell to her knees in disbelief.
This doesn't feel real right now. It was such a roller coaster match. I was actually telling myself, you're doing great, just telling myself the opposite of what you normally tell yourself as a tennis player, and just honestly stay calm because I knew I had to keep it together.
That reverse psychology technique is absolutely brilliant. When most players would be telling themselves they're choking or playing badly, Anisimova consciously chose positive self-talk. That level of emotional intelligence and mental control is what separates champions from contenders. She literally rewired her brain during the biggest match of her life.
Meanwhile, Sabalenka stormed off court without any acknowledgement, a stark contrast to Anisimova, who stayed to sign autographs and lap up the applause. Even in victory, Anisimova showed the grace and humility that Sabalenka lacks in defeat. The optics couldn't have been more telling.
To be honest, if you told me I would be in the final at Wimbledon, I would not believe you. At least not this soon. It's been a year turnaround since coming back. To be in this spot, it's not easy. So many people dream of competing on this incredible court.
What made this victory so special was Anisimova's fearless approach in the final set. She's now 6-0 in 3-set matches on grass this year. She hit 24 aces, and most importantly, she showed mental mastery under the ultimate pressure. After losing her father, surviving mental health struggles, and climbing from world number 442, pressure simply doesn't exist for her anymore.
Contrast with Sabalenka couldn't be starker. While Anisimova has overcome genuine tragedy, her father's sudden death, mental health battles, career resurrection, Sabalenka's biggest challenges seem to be handling defeat gracefully and acknowledging opponents' skill. Even the crowd dynamics told the story fans were giving Sabalenka water during heat-related stoppages, yet they were chanting for Anisimova when it mattered.
This victory transcends tennis rankings and head-to-head records. Anisimova has shown that taking time for mental health isn't career suicide, it's career salvation. She came back stronger, more focused, and with a perspective that makes pressure feel like privilege. At 23, she's the youngest American Wimbledon semifinalist since Serena Williams in 2004, and she's done it the right way.
Celebration told the whole story. While Sabalenka storms off court, having squandered another Grand Slam opportunity, Anisimova gets to prepare for Saturday's final against either Iga Swiatek or Belinda Bencic. She's guaranteed to break into the top 10 for the first time, rising as high as number 7 if she wins the title.
The irony is perfect. Sabalenka, who complained about magical shots and lucky breaks when she lost to Gauff, lost to a player who created her own magic through mental strength, tactical intelligence, and authentic resilience. This wasn't luck, this was destiny earned through genuine adversity.
It's worth noting that both players have faced personal tragedy. Sabalenka lost her father Sergei to meningitis in 2019, and her ex-boyfriend Konstantin Koltsov died in 2024. But their responses to adversity reveal everything about character and growth.
Anisimova transformed her father's death and mental health struggles into fuel for authentic growth. She took responsibility, sought help, and came back stronger. Meanwhile, Sabalenka's pattern of blaming external factors and dismissing opponents suggests she hasn't learned to process disappointment constructively.
Looking ahead to Saturday's final, Anisimova faces either Iga Swiatek or Belinda Bencic, but she's already won the biggest victory, proving that champions aren't just born, they're reborn through adversity, courage, and the decision to never give up on their dreams. She's also shown that sometimes the greatest revenge is simply outclassing those who doubted you.
What Anisimova accomplished today will inspire athletes across all sports. She took the darkest period of her career, losing her father at 17, mental health struggles, falling to world number 442, and transformed it into fuel for greatness. The 8-month break wasn't a setback, it was preparation for this exact moment.
This is why we love sports. Real champions aren't measured by their perfect moments. They're defined by how they respond to genuine tragedy, mental struggle, and the temptation to quit. Anisimova turned her lowest point into her launching pad for greatness. She discovered art therapy, raised money for mental health charities, and came back as a complete person.
Dr. Chen, Maria, thank you for helping us understand one of the most beautiful comeback stories in tennis history. Amanda Anisimova didn't just beat the world number 1 today. She beat the darkness that nearly ended her career, the tragedy that took her father, and the mental health struggles that forced her to step away. She emerged as a beacon of hope for anyone fighting their own battles. This episode was brought to you by Unstruct.ai, where we celebrate the human triumphs that transcend sports statistics. Today we've witnessed something truly magical, and this time, the magic was earned through 8 months of healing, countless hours of rebuilding, and the courage to believe in second chances. Amanda Anisimova's 6-4, 4-6, 6-4 victory over Aryna Sabalenka wasn't just about tennis. It was about redemption, mental health awareness, and the power of authentic resilience. When Sabalenka tried to intimidate her over a net cord, demanding an apology for a lucky break, Anisimova's response was to win 5 games and secure her place in tennis history. From world number 442 to a Wimbledon final in 18 months, from mental health struggles to mental freedom on center court, from written off to writing her own destiny. Sometimes the greatest victories aren't about beating your opponent, they're about beating the voices that